Hello, beautiful women. I'm Saida Desilets, the author of The Emergence of the Sensual Woman and the creatrix of the Succulence Revolution, and I am so excited that I get to go back to Great Barrington after all these years and share with you my Live Your Bliss weekend. This is a short video where we're going to explore a few of the common concerns that come up when considering jumping into a weekend like this. But before we do that, I have a few questions for you. Would you love to feel confident and relaxed in your sensual self? Is having an unshakable self-esteem and living from a place of very deep alignment with yourself something you would love? Is the idea of a gourmet relationship something rather exciting, but you're finding it a little hard to bring it into reality? Do the mundane responsibilities and have-tos of life erode your enthusiasm and leave you feeling a little empty and tired? And would you love to know how to transform that? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you definitely can have that and a lot more. But here's the thing, after teaching thousands of women for well over a decade, I can see that it is this amazing challenge that as soon as you want to say yes to your passion and pleasure and deep relationship with yourself, all these concerns come up, and they're genuine concerns. So I thought I could answer at least the three major ones that seem to come up on a regular basis. Number one, I'm too busy, I don't have time for that. You know as well as I do that that's not true. Anything that is important to us, that we make a priority, we always have time for. So here's the better question. Where are you on the level of importance on your to-do list? I have seen time and time again women from all over the world, all ages, when we take time to invest in ourselves, to find out what's really needed to live a life of purpose, of alignment, to be at home in our own bodies, to understand what's happening in the changes and shifts in the body, when we learn to be more expressed and deeply trust ourselves, and perhaps even heal the aspects of ourselves that are holding us back from really moving forward and out into the world, then and only then can we truly manifest what we dream of in the world. Concern number two. This stuff is for other women, it's kind of weird, I don't want to get naked and do the sexy thing with a group of people. Trust me, those concerns that you have, they're the same for me, and honestly I'm glad that you have them. I'm glad you're asking about them, because we should check out if things are in alignment with ourselves, right? Okay, here's the thing. I can assure you that what happens on a weekend is safe, it's sacred, it's beautiful. It's a quiet space where you get to explore yourself, all of yourself, in such a way that it's like an invitation. You don't have to do anything on the weekend at all, so you can participate with only the things that feel right to you. And this is about a deep journey into yourself. It's not about a sex party or getting all wild and crazy. It's a deep journey with yourself. And in my experience, we cannot have that enough. This gourmet relationship with ourselves sets the tone for all the relationships in our life, especially our intimate ones. So time and time again, at the end of a weekend like this, I always hear the same thing. Why, oh why didn't I do this before? Why was I so concerned and stressed? This was such a beautiful experience. Number three, this has to do with the I am too excuse. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. So here's my answer to that concern. When our stories come up, and they will, if your story's coming up when you're considering coming to a weekend like this, it's almost an indication you should be there, because it's like your deep nature understands, oh good, we finally get to reveal our true self. And that can bring up a lot of concerns and fears in the part of us that I call the personality. So definitely you are deeper, and there's so much more to you than just your stories. When we say yes to pleasure, Yes to having a gourmet relationship with ourselves. We're going to feel more alive for it. And this aliveness translates into changing the world that we live in. Every day I receive amazing emails from women just like yourself who have taken that step, who have said yes. So I thought I would read to you just a few of them to give you an idea of the transformation that happens when we finally get to step into relaxing into our deep nature. Number 1, all my life, my thing has always been food. Food as a way to fill the holes in my soul. Food as weight on my anxiety. Food as a lover and a friend. And the thing is, self-loathing always followed the food. I could not comprehend life without eating. Eating when I was so full that I hurt. Eating because I hurt. I have done so much work with myself around my relationship with food. And while I had huge changes with some aspects like anxiety, the compulsive overeating always remained until the workshop. And when I left that weekend and went back to my life, I felt like I didn't need to eat compulsively again. How amazing is that? I just find that really touching. The second one I want to read to you is, working with you supported me in breaking through my inner blocks to feminine freedom and sexual intimacy with patience and consciousness. My relationship with my partner has transformed and deepened into a more fulfilling expression of love and intimacy. And just as importantly, I've embraced myself with a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. Yay! I love to hear things like that. And the third one isn't an email, but it was a feedback I received when the group joined back together after a few months as a check-in. And the feedback was from a woman in her 70s. She had been shut down sexually for a good 30 so years. She had recently lost her partner, so she was widowed and had basically given up on life. And with doing the practices, she went home after the weekend and did the practices. She reported just after a few months, her breasts were fuller, her yoni was more juicy and alive than ever, and she was considering starting to date again. So this kind of feedback points to one thing in particular, that we're all very unique in how we blossom and how we journey with our sensual selves. And yes, we can learn these things through a book or a video or an online course. But when we come together in person, a very special magic happens. And I want you to know the full breadth and depth of your pleasure and why it's so important to your life. I want all women to know this. So if it feels delicious to you, say yes and come and join me in Great Barrington for my Live Your Bliss weekend. There's a link right below this video. Click on that link. You will go to an events page. All the details are there so that you can feel comfortable in your decision to register. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the weekend.